Okay, we are live. Or we're supposed to be live. Might move my headset around. Alright, testing, check. This microphone's really sensitive, so if I wear it too close, it can distort. Alright, check. Just getting set up, guys. Alright, just making sure audio's good. But yeah, thank you anyone who's waiting. Yeah, a little bit impromptu. But yeah, keen to get a live stream going today. It's actually a public holiday, so happy Queen's birthday. It's actually the Queen's birthday in Australia, or for Commonwealth countries. So we're celebrating that. So it's a public holiday in Australia. I figured I'd do a live stream. So happy Queen's birthday, everyone. We'll see who's turning up. We're just warming up. And for those in the Northern Hemisphere, like America, Canada, hopefully it's a better time for you guys. Sunday your time. It's the long weekend Monday here in Australia. So while we're warming up, I'll do the usual news updates. I'll do a few news updates, and yeah, we will get started. I'll get my notes ready. As you can tell, I'm using I got the new webcam going. I got new lighting, so hopefully you can see the detail of my barong. See my very nice barong. I gotta get my video layering, yeah. So you can see the pearl buttons and everything. Yeah, good. So the lighting's working. Got my embroidery, my fancy barong. So yeah, Filipino dress shirt. Come on, guys. We're just warming up. Right, so we got the Queen's birthday, public holiday weekend. Things being the way they are, it's a bit of a pain these days. You have to hit the notification bell on YouTube because people just aren't getting the updates. People just aren't getting the notifications and updates. So yeah, don't forget to hit subscribe and hit that notification bell. Hey Jason, welcome. It's yeah, pearl buttons, so look at all those buttons. My fancy barong. Yeah, just because, why not? It's actually a bit warmer today, so if you're going to wear the barong, and also see if the new detail turns up on my new web camera. Of course, check out the Facebook page, Be Adventures on Facebook. Again, that way it's easier to communicate and you can get the updates and things like that. So just doing a bit of warm-up, bit of housekeeping, guys, before we get into it. And I also have an Amazon store. So I'm just posting the links, by the way, in the chat. So you can just check it out, see what's going on. Alrighty, who have we got? We only got a couple people in the room. But yeah, hey, Jason in Missouri, he's cool. We actually did a live stream and chat on Joseph in Manila's channel. He's got the worst name. Like, I like him. He's my friend. Joseph, my life in Metro Manila. He's got the longest freaking channel name. You got Canadian Kamoti Rider in the house. That's Corey. Hello, Corey. Good to hear from you, bro. Bro, we need to chat more. Also, you got YouTube super chat. So if you feel like giving me a tip, you can do a donation or a tip in this chat section on the live stream. Just putting it out there. Just warming up, guys. Also, thank you on 20,000 subscribers. Thank you very much. I do appreciate it. Thank you, everyone. That's why it's important. You got to hit the subscribe button so I know who's interested. And if you like, I'll keep making my series and keep exploring and traveling and all that good stuff. But yeah, it's good feedback, meaning just so we know what's what. So let's go for 30,000 subscribers. Yeah, so like, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Alrighty. I'm just posting all this in the chat section. All right, so we got a serious one now. All right, guys, this is serious. So I'm going to start the news. This is serious. Okay, like it was all over the tech news, but this is serious. All right, there's an NSA warning. Update your legacy versions of Windows. All right, I'm gonna post that link. I'm not kidding. NSA, National Security Agency, has issued a warning. That's how serious this is. Now, what that means is there's nothing wrong with Windows. It's just that the technology has advanced. We didn't use the internet back in the day. We're using it so much more now. It's created vulnerabilities. So whatever version you're using, whether it's XP, you are old school if you're still using XP, whether it's XP, Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10, run your damn updates. Just get it over and done with. All right, because you automatically get the security patches. Just run your damn updates. Like later, just set it manually. Go down to the start menu. Look for the Windows updates, or you can do a search in the start menu, Windows updates, and just find it and manually run it. Say run updates. Let it run. Go get something to eat. Go get a cup of coffee. Get it over and done with. All right, it's really important. But as I said, it's so big now. The NSA is giving a security warning. So even in the tech industry, people were like, all the tech nerds and reviewers, they were like, "Whoa, why is the NSA giving a warning?" It's because they have their own security, but their staff or other people that might have sensitive information could be vulnerable, and that could be used to access other government departments and things like that. So yeah, just get it over and done with. And of course, update the Windows 10. Don't be shy, don't be embarrassed. Google it, learn how to do it. If you don't know how, contact me, message me on my Facebook, and I'll tell you how. I'll give you a hand. All right, so don't be embarrassed. You better update the Windows 10 because all these security vulnerabilities are coming out. And you have to think about it. It's pretty good because since, it was Windows 95 when Windows became big, wow, it was a big deal on the news. And then Windows 98. So really 20 years, guys. A good 20 years we've been using Windows. Of course, you're going to have to update. Right? You're going to have to update, and the security needed to be improved. And as I said, if you use Windows 10, then you got the latest security features. Alrighty, let's keep going. That brings you on to the next point. I recently updated to Windows version 1903. Windows 10 1903. It's a feature update, just meaning it's still Windows 10. It's just got some new features. It's just like reinstalling Windows 10 again, meaning I just had to reconfigure my settings. It was just a little bit annoying. Wasn't that big a deal. I'm just posting the links now, guys. I noticed something. On my current computer, it got the update for 1903, so this version 1903. But my other older Sony Vaio laptop doesn't have the update yet. It's still using 1809, which is still a stable, excellent version of Windows 10. So I'm just putting it out there, same thing, get it over and done with. That was a big update, but it's said to be the last major feature update to Windows 10, meaning they don't want to keep changing it too much. They want it to be stable. So whatever. I think one of the features is Microsoft Edge, the internet browser. Microsoft Edge just got refreshed to be a Chromium-based browser. So what that means is Google Chrome. So it's actually based off Google Chrome, if you like that. I like Chrome. So yeah, just little things like that, just little feature updates, new security updates, that type of stuff. So yep, just getting that out of the way. Looking at my notes. Yeah, so, for goodness sake, guys, just update the Windows 10. Just get it over and done with. All right, let's keep going. Oh, I mentioned before that I'd applied for a Google event in California. I didn't get accepted, so I'm glad I didn't make a dedicated vlog about it. I applied. I didn't get it. A lot of people applied for it, so, lots of applicants. But, oh, well, it doesn't matter. I can still visit USA if I like, just for a vacation or, be adventures, explore. And, of course, I would like to do cool things there, like go to the range and build a rifle and stuff like that. Hey, Carl. Hey, Carl, I'm just getting warmed up just with some news ahead. So we got Canadian Kamoti, Corey, we got Jason in Missouri, and we got Carl Chaleski. So, hey, Carl. Not just yet. I'll cover it in some future videos. You'll see I'm covering more travel stuff in future videos. But, yeah, not just yet. Just focused on business and work. So, but hey, Carl, thanks for saying hello. So yeah, don't be afraid to tell me where you're from, guys. Say what city and what country you're from, and I can say hello. So yeah, I didn't get accepted to the Google update in California. I mean Google event, but that's fine. They have them all the time, so hopefully I can go to another one. It was just a great chance to visit America and also work with Google directly. And yeah. So it doesn't matter. I can just do my own thing. Go to Philippines with my barong. I actually want to wear this in Philippines next trip. Wear my barong. A nice shirt. Jason saying, so the Microsoft Edge for Windows 10 is okay? Yeah, it is. It was crap. No one was using it. It was just an unpopular product. Ironically, it is actually a good internet browser, just no one used it. And it was also very secure. That's why they'd come up with their own Microsoft Edge. But no one was supporting it. No one was really using it. So that's why they're like, let's just use a Chrome-based browser. So the new Microsoft Edge, the latest version, when you run the updates, is actually based on Google Chrome because Google Chrome is open source. So the code is open source. Anyone's allowed to use it. And I think it's probably a wiser move just so it's a more popular product, just so people use it. But yeah, much of a muchness. So use what you like. If you still like to use, Firefox, Mozilla Firefox is still excellent. I know a lot of guys still using that. There's also some new, different brands now. I tend to use Google Chrome. So yeah, use what works. I still know people using Microsoft Internet Explorer, and I'm being honest, I used to use it too because of business partners, and it was such a pain in the balls because they'd written the code for our websites and VPNs based on Internet Explorer. Every single website has, right, in the world. When the internet was created, it was created on Internet Explorer. All right, I'm not exaggerating. So yeah, just getting them to accept Firefox and Chrome was a big deal. Meaning Mozilla Firefox and Google Chrome mimic Internet Explorer. Their own fast product. But in order for them to work on the internet, they have to mimic Internet Explorer. So anyway, as you can tell, getting carried away. But yeah, finally got business partners to update as well, so we could work a bit faster online. And we had to do it for VPNs for secure internet connections. And then secondly, getting them to update to Windows 10. That was a big deal too, just so we're more consistent with our work and also less tech issues. Because a lot of them just didn't know what they were doing. Like they could, and I'm not making fun because I've been there myself. They just fired up the computer in the office and they didn't know what they were doing. They're just using the office computer. They didn't actually understand how to use a computer or how it works. So that's why we're just like, for God's sake, just update the Windows 10, get over and done with so we can just get our work done. So you can see why I get a bit excited about it, just because it's so annoying when, you can't finish the work because this other jerk off hasn't updated or this other person just doesn't want to learn how to use a computer. And it's like, okay, we need to investigate that. Anyway, let's keep going. Captain Spaulding, hey mate. Here's mate, I fancy Chrome. Yep, it's awesome. It's fast. It's fast and it's powerful, but you need a lot of RAM. And tech reviewers have covered this. Google Chrome uses up a lot of RAM, just the nature of it, because it's a very powerful internet browser. It's a very powerful suite of tools with all these attachments and stuff. You can turn them off. But yeah, because of that, it uses up a lot of RAM. So that's the thing. Like back in the day, we didn't really need RAM because we weren't using the internet that much. Now we do streaming and YouTube and Netflix and all these movies and computer games. Oh my goodness, you need a lot more RAM. 8 gig of RAM is enough these days. 8, but that's spastic. Like I remember when I bought my first Dell laptop, that had 1 gig of RAM, and that was considered a lot. Like people were like, "Oh wow, you've got 1 gig of RAM in your Dell laptop." Like it's just a laptop, but it was considered a lot. When was that? That was, gosh, gonna make me sound old. That was 2006, 2006, 2007. Yeah, so back then. Yeah, so fast forward 12 years now, like 8 gig is like the standard, the baseline standard. You can do a lot with 8 gigabytes, and you can still get away with less, like 4 gigabytes. But I'm just saying, just because all the technology keeps advancing, it's more powerful. So more powerful technology, you need more powerful computers. All right, let's keep going. Now, I know I'll talk a bit about tech. This really got my attention. I'm going to share a link to it's Dell Australia. It's a AMD Ryzen based desktop computer. It's the Dell Inspiron 5676 gaming desktop. Right, I'm just putting it out there. They didn't tell me to say this, but it's just a good reference point. Now, the reason why we tend to get things very late in Australia, even 1 year, 2 years late. So you guys might get it sooner anyway. In America, in Europe, you get UK, we have to wait 1 year just to get a stupid computer or a camera sometimes. So that got my attention because it's using the AMD Ryzen R7 2700X 8-core processor, 8 brains. Very nice processor. I saw that for going for $1,500 Australian. So that's a good price. I'm just putting it out there. I'm just saying Dell is very well known as an OEM manufacturer. My first laptop was a Dell. Many of you, your first computer was probably a Dell. Yeah, so they're still famous for making computers, but it's just it's a good price. I'm not saying you have to buy it, but it's just a good reference point. because I've seen so many manufacturers, HP, Apple, who else? All these different manufacturers, and they're selling, computers like this for around $2,000, $3,000 in Australia. So that's why I was like, oh, we shouldn't be paying so much. $1,500 in Australia is a fair price. Wait for it on sale. $1,200 is much better. On sale, that would be fair. $1,200, $1,300, and they're using AMD. So that was also another thing too, where AMD have been looking for more business partners. They're making a serious comeback, like it's real. And yeah, because Dell's on board, that's a big deal because Dell's such a well-known OEM manufacturer. So Dell didn't make a thing about it. Dell didn't advertise. It was actually YouTubers and tech reviewers who are also surprised, going, "Wow, Dell's making AMD-based computers. Cool, we'll buy them." So the guys were actually buying them and doing reviews. So yeah, it was just interesting because they snuck it in. They didn't really advertise it, but yeah, you actually have to search it on their website. So when you're searching for products, search AMD Ryzen or just AMD and see what computers came up. That's what I did. As I said, they didn't advertise it very clearly. Now, if you're in America, you got a much better deals. I'm going to post a link for the American one. It's the exact same computer, but in America. And this is what I'm talking about. The American one was on sale recently. I think it was the Memorial Day sale. And I've just posted the link, and that was $700 US. So it shows you how unfair it is. We got to pay $1,500 in Australia, but the American friends get it for $700. So yeah, so I'm just putting it out there. Again, it was just weird because Dell hasn't been advertising it, but they're doing it, and I think it has to do with the shortage, the computer chip shortage. There's still an Intel computer chip shortage, and because of that, they're obviously having to go to AMD. But hey, I'm happy. I'm glad they're doing it, and I'm glad AMD's finally getting some more support from other manufacturers. Because they're good. They're good computer chips, and they have better security too. That's what makes them so good. More affordable. They're half the price of Intel. So anyway, I just posted another link. Now, again, this brings back memories. My very first computer was a Dell Inspiron or Inspiron. Forgive my pronunciation. It was a grey and white laptop, running Windows Vista. It was terrible because I didn't know how to use it, but then I updated to Windows 7 and everything, and it was fine. It was a great laptop. It was still fast. Upgraded the RAM to 2 gig of RAM, things like that. But anyway, so there's this new Dell Inspiron laptop, and it's also using an AMD R7 3700U 4-core processor. So that's the U stands for Ultrabook, meaning a mobile processor or a laptop processor. But again, I'm just putting it out there, $680, very good value. So we can't even get that in Australia. So can you see why I get excited? It's so ridiculous. It's just a Dell laptop, but they're not even selling it in Australia yet. So yeah, hopefully it comes to Australia, because as you can tell, I'm looking at AMD and good value. Good value, meaning how much value do you get by paying more, and how much value do you lose by paying less? With AMD, you get a lot of value for money. So yeah, and again, what got me was the better security. There's all these security bugs being discovered with Intel chips. So I'm not razzing on them. I'm not saying Intel's bad by any means. I'm just saying I'd like to give AMD a try. And the value equation is there. Very strong value, good value for money. So to give you guys an idea, your fancy Apple iPhone and your Apple MacBook and your iMac and your iPad and whatever, all those Apple products are twice as expensive in Australia, sometimes 3 times. So, guys are like, oh, my iPhone doesn't cost that much. Well, just imagine it costs double or 3 times in Australia. It's just silly, it's not value. And it's just price gouging at that point. So, yeah, you can see things are overpriced in Australia. That's why, I get a bit excited. So let's keep going. Jason saying, what's this? Jason saying he's been using Chrome. Yep, good on you. If only a friend would bring you one. No, look, Jason, there's even, it's like drop shipping. I can't remember what it's called. There's even a website, and there's businesses based on this, where you tell them what you want to buy. You buy it, and you use them as your shipping address in America, and then they just forward it on, or forwarding. So don't get me wrong, I've looked at that, but it adds more expense, another $100, $200 sometimes. And warranty issues, blah, blah, blah. So I'll work it out. Don't you worry. And that's what I do. I shop on Amazon. I shop on eBay. Look, I'm trying to find it now. So you got me excited now, Jason. I should have got my props ready earlier. On a live stream too, my goodness. That's where I got this thing. My Samsung SSD. Amazon USA. We couldn't at the time. I'm just saying we couldn't even get these in Australia. We just couldn't find them. And I even contacted Samsung Australia. They said we did get a batch into the country, but it went to industry partners. Went to the big companies or big vendors. Like that's it. They just disappeared straight away. So yeah, I had to go that far. I had to order one from USA. So patriot. If Joseph in Manila, if Ed's watching, I'm a patriot. I even buy off Amazon USA. But it's by necessity, seriously, because we can't even get stuff sometimes. So that's how bad it is. Anyway, and you can often find a good deal too. Don't get me wrong. I'm not complaining about getting a good deal. Alrighty, let's keep going. Wow, and the chat system's actually working today. Sometimes I have tech issues that the actual chat's working. Sometimes I have to have multiple screens open, so I'm flicking between the two. Carl's asking, what do I like about living in that like Sydney region, or whatever. Look, there tends to be a lot of professional work, a lot of office work. So Sydney's the biggest city. That doesn't necessarily mean it's the best. It's just there's more things going on, and there tends to be more office work, more professional work. Yeah. I've met so many wonderful people from Queensland or Melbourne or Adelaide, Tasmania, meaning all these other cities, Perth, and many of them move here just for work. They just move here just for even office experience because there wasn't enough office work or professional work in their home city, or be it a smaller or bigger one. Yeah, and surprisingly, people like it. The people I've met, even if they only come here 1 or 2 years just for professional experience, they like it for that reason, So, but yeah, that's the funny thing. I've made so many friends, and they've just moved away because they just did a bit of work experience and then moved, or they came here for study, they did some work and then moved. There's good universities and things like that too. So, yeah. Jason's saying, if there is a way, I'm sure you'll find it. Yeah, absolutely. That's what I mean. There's always a solution out there. And I was already looking at those forwarding addresses or forwarding, whatever you call it, forward shipping or drop shipping. But yeah, so I even did that. I think it was for some clothing years ago. I just really wanted some brand name clothing. We couldn't get it here in Australia. So again, they just sent it to that American address and they shipped it to me in Australia. Yeah, so let's keep going. So on to Philippine news. So some of you might have heard about this, but this is really quite a historical one. It's quite a historic moment. Let me just post it. The Philippines lifts the Canadian travel ban, but no return on the ambassador yet. So President Duterte has some massive balls, man. And he got sick of Canada dumping its trash in Philippines. So I'm not razzing on like Canada and Canadian people. It's just that a Canadian company had dumped all these shipping containers, like 100 big steel shipping containers full of trash. It was non-recyclable. It was like nappies and, yucky stuff, just trash. It wasn't recyclable. So it sat on the docks for like 5 years, and finally they sent it back. They literally put it on a ship and sent it back. So no one had the courage to do it. So that's what I mean by it's quite historic, because I'm not razzing. Australia does it too, so they had to stand up for themselves, saying no more trash dumping, and at least it's helped return Canadian diplomacy, or at least because they were removing the diplomats. You see, they were going to close the embassy, so at least it's improving relations again. But yeah, it was a wake up call. You can't keep doing that. You can't just keep dumping trash in other countries. So there's even a documentary about it. I posted that on my social media. It was a 60 Minutes Australia documentary about how Australia does it too, and they investigated it. It was really good investigative journalism. Let's keep going. Carl is saying, I use a forwarding address in Germany to get things from Europe. Oh, yep. Yeah, exactly. There's solutions around the world. Yep. Which I think is excellent, because it shouldn't be so difficult. I complain about it all the time, but as I said, like we can't even get that silly Dell laptop. It's just an affordable Dell laptop, but I can't even get it in Australia right now. So as I said, I'm just waiting patiently. Hopefully they sell it here. Otherwise, yeah, I'll just order it from America or somewhere else. Jason's saying, if only Australia could ban headphones with drugs in them. Are you talking about me because I'm wearing headphones? Or what the hell are you talking about, man? I don't know. I don't get the joke. But anyway. Do you want me to take them off? Anyway, let's keep going. So yeah, explain your joke, Jason. I'm not offended, but I don't know what the hell you're talking about. So anyway, so good on Canada for taking the trash back seriously, and apparently they're going to process it from a waste to energy plant. So what that means is they burn it in a furnace, but that furnace is also an electric power plant, which I think is excellent. And there's one in America, and oh geez, I think I lost my notes on that. I wrote that down. Damn, I did, because damn. Let me just check. Excuse me for a second. Because there's one in America where they have a waste to energy power plant. It's successful, meaning it's operational. They burn the waste and it creates electricity, and it's less pollution than coal. You know, a lot of people don't realize coal is still a very affordable and very popular energy source. You know, coal power plants. So hey, I think it's wonderful. It's less pollution than coal, and it creates energy and it reduces trash. It addresses the trash problem, because it's such a problem. Like literally, we have trash piles and we're just sending it overseas. So look, I'll have to follow up on that. But if anyone wants to ping me on that one, I'm happy to send them the link. But yeah, so that was meant to be a talking point. But yeah, so anyway, that's what happened with Canada. I think that's wonderful. So not only are they going to take the trash back, it's going to go to a waste energy power plant, and so that way it disposes of the trash and it creates electricity, creates energy. Awesome. They should have been doing that to start with. And you know, Germany's famous for that. Germany, Switzerland, they actually use multi-level filters. It looks like steps. It's not like just a chimney. So as you burn the trash, it filters it through those steps, which are all filters, and that way very minimal pollution at all. So I think we should do that in Australia, and you know, you could do that in America. They already have one, like one of these power plants in America. So I think it's great. I think it's in Massachusetts. I can't remember. You know, so anyway. You know what? Look, I'm thinking about it now, and I've got to own it. Let me just see if I can quickly find it. But yeah, waste to energy, they usually call it. Waste to energy solutions. I think we need to do it more, because no one wants to deal with it. No one wants to deal with all this trash. Waste to energy. Come on. Okay, here we go. It's a waste to energy plant in Saugus, Massachusetts. Forgive my pronunciation. Saugus, Massachusetts. I'm going to post the link. That way we can document it. Okay, here we go, guys. But I thought that was wonderful. So wheel abrader technologies. Wheel abrader technologies. I'm just going to post that. Wheel abrader technologies. There you go. So wheel abrader technologies, Saugus, Massachusetts, waste to energy plant. But yeah, so it just shows you can do it. You know, good on you. So if you're in America, look into it, because it shows you can do it. You have the technology. It's proof you can do it. Why not? And you don't need many of them. You just need one to service an area, meaning you can service the whole region, you know, burning all the trash in that region and making some electricity. All right, so let's keep going. Jason's saying that was quite the bust recently. Oh, there was a bust in Australia. Right. It was one of the biggest drug busts this week. I believe China was hiding drugs in headphones. Oh, I didn't. Well, thanks for telling me. There you go. Jason's getting in on the update. So thanks for helping with the news, Jason. On the coffee. Yeah, well, okay, I'll look into it. That sounds cool. Meaning, I obviously didn't know about it, but yeah, there was a huge customs scandal. Geez, what was that? 2012? I think it was 2012 or 2013. Australian customs had a whole syndicate, meaning the staff were corrupt. And those luggage cases coming in with professional orders, like a bag of heroin, a bag of cocaine, a handgun, some ammunition. They were doing orders from overseas, and then because they had the baggage handlers and the staff, they would use it like a distribution system. So you could order what you wanted, they'd send it in someone's luggage bag. They would take the luggage bag, take out the contraband, and then put it back on, and then you walk away. So they had this professional racket going on. Yeah, it was a huge bust. Huge scandal, you know, very embarrassing for Australian customs. And it shows, how overrated they are. They have corruption too. They have problems too. So, they're very tough on us when we travel in the airport and everything. They still, even like they get upset over a pen sometimes. They take your pen away. Ridiculous. And then these idiots are doing their own drug racket and their smuggling ring. So, yeah, I'm not surprised, Jason. I'm glad they called them idiots. Just because, yes, they're not all bad, but they're so uptight. They're so strict and uptight. But then they're doing these bad things themselves. They're involved in the smuggling and the corruption. So it's just a bit silly sometimes. You guys might have seen it in my travel videos where we have to go through an extra layer of security in Philippines or in Vietnam, meaning even when we come back home to Australia, we have to go through an extra layer of security of the partner country. It's just a travel requirement. So just so I'm flying with Philippine Airlines, pal, I'm trying to get on my flight to come back to Australia. I still have to go through an extra layer of security. So that's not the Philippines' fault. That's our fault. The Australian airline industry and government requires that. You see what I mean? All these extra checks and all this extra security and throw out your liquids and all this. I understand the importance. It's just, they take it a bit far. All right, I think I just posted that other link I've got to talk on. Yeah, a Dutchman was killed by ISIS rebels in Jolo Island, which is far south Philippines, very, very far south near Malaysia. Very, very far south, right? So he'd been kidnapped before, a couple of years ago. He was still being held prisoner. The military was trying to find him and rescue him. It's a new policy. Usually in the past, before Duterte administration, if you were kidnapped, there was just no negotiating with terrorists, you would just die. They didn't care if you died or not. They would do very little to help you. Now, Duterte administration, their policy is we have to try and rescue them. We must try and recover hostages, like be it peacefully negotiate or try and rescue them with the military. And secondly, we have to hold the rebels to account. We can't just let terrorists kidnap people. It's stupid. So you see, all this has been left unchecked for 20 years. So anyway, the Dutch guy got killed in the crossfire. He got killed during a military operation, which is very unfortunate. But I think it's great they at least tried to rescue him. For years. He's been a kidnap victim for years. He's been stuck in the jungle for years. No one tried rescuing him. So at least they're trying now, and it's better than getting beheaded, because that's typically what happens. They behead you and put your head on the internet, terrorists. So yeah, so that was unfortunate. But there's been a lot of rebel activity recently, but I believe it's because of these military campaigns, meaning they're actually trying to go after these rebels. There was another one. Soldiers were wounded in an attack by suspected NPA rebels. NPA is New People's Army. They're another terrorist group. I'm just posting the link. And the report came out of Cagayan de Oro. So it wasn't exactly CDO, Cagayan de Oro. I'm just saying the report came from that region, when I give a reference point. So I think it was further inland, central Mindanao. But yeah, so there's NPA rebels active again. So they've always been there. Again, it's just no one's chasing after them. No one's holding them to account. So a little bit of rebel activity going on, or actually quite a lot. Who else? Adzi says, nice barong, bro. Have you been practice firing whilst in Australia? No, I haven't. Thanks, man. I wish. And yeah, thank you. I thought I'd wear the barong today because I got the new cam, so I got the detailed embroidery and the nice pearl buttons. But and doing the Philippine news now. But yeah, no, I wish. A friend invited me, so he invited me on a camping trip, and so we could go shooting. So yeah, maybe I can vlog that, or hopefully I can go with him. But we've been talking about it for a while, so just bolt action rifles, just simple stuff, and yeah, we'll see, because he does a bit of pest control, shooting feral dogs and foxes, and like for farms and things. So yeah, we'll see. Maybe we do some pest control, or maybe we just go blinking for fun, shooting some tin cans or something. But yeah, that would be cool. But otherwise, no, I'll have to go to America or Philippines and use the good old machine gun, Just joking. Well, I'm serious. I actually do that. We got another one. Okay, this is very interesting because I know people from this region. Some rebels killed as troops overrun an NPA lair in Eastern Samar, Tacloban City. So again, the report came out of Tacloban City, so the Samar region. But that interested me because I know people from Tacloban as well as Catbalogan, which is next door. So yeah, there's actually a bit of rebel activity there. And I cancelled my trip there for that reason because one, you had the super typhoon in 2013. I was going to go there and visit some of these friends. There was the super typhoon Haiyan or Yolanda, wiped out Tacloban City. So that's why I cancelled that trip. I was going to go again, later because I heard it cleaned up and wanted to still visit. And then, yeah, I got some reports of NPA rebels, terrorists operating in that region, and obviously I didn't want to risk it. It wasn't safe. And only one Filipino friend warned me. He said, Brennan, look, we're Filipino. We can go there. We fit in. We speak the language, the local dialect. It's not an issue for us. They're like, you're a foreigner. They'll know straight away you're a foreigner. You're going to get kidnapped. Just don't go down there. So I'm not trying to make you paranoid. I'm just saying every time I've wanted to go down there, there's been problems. So yeah, at least the military are chasing after them now. You see, no one did anything. No one chased after them. So yeah, so that's very interesting that the military are now taking on the NPA in Eastern Samar. So as I said, I mean, some of these friends, they mean well, but then they're really not being responsible. They're just like, oh, yeah, go visit there, no problem. And that's what I mean by another friend warned me. He goes, no, don't just go running around far south, right? Don't just go running around down there. You're going to get into trouble. So he said, yeah, our family, you know us, but it's not enough. You can't just go running around like a tourist. For a Filipino, they fit in. But for a foreigner, it's not a good idea. And then last article on the rebel activity, we got 9 ex-rebels in Negros Occidental getting some cash handouts and getting cash aid. So that came from Bacolod City. So Bacolod City is above Dumaguete City. Many of you are familiar with Dumaguete City. It's been vlogged a lot. That's Negros Oriental, meaning the southern part. And then you got Negros Occidental, the northern part, the difference between north and south or east and west. So yeah, I'm glad rebels are surrendering. So what the government's finding is that these rebels are misled. They're told you'll be paid a salary. If you join this terrorist group or a rebel group, you get paid a salary. So of course, to put down the gun, to get them to surrender, they're saying, well, look, put down the gun. We'll develop an aid program or some social security. That's the main issue. They're joining the rebels because there's no jobs and there's no security. So if social security and physical security were increased, then obviously they would be less inclined to join these rebel groups. So look, at least there's some good news that some rebels are surrendering. Once they establish some communication and peace deals, I'm happy to hear that. And that was happening earlier this year too. They were getting more rebels to surrender. Again, they were misled. They were told they would be paid to join ISIS or NPA or whatever. And reality kicks in. It ends up being very dangerous, and they have to fight, or they don't get paid. They don't actually get paid. They just get tricked into joining these crazy rebel groups. So, all right. So that's that on the news. That's the main news I felt was worth talking about. The rest was just like celebrity news, and there's Binibining. Oh, look, I should have talked about that. There's Binibining, which is it's sort of like Miss Philippines. So Binibining Philippines is their beauty pageant, their very big national one. So that was happening recently. And then from Binibining, they choose the candidates to go for Miss Universe. So can you see how it's a filtering process? They go through local competitions, and then other more city competitions, and then Binibining, and then Miss Universe. So that's why they always dominate beauty pageants. They are like, professional. They're filtering out as many as they can to get the cream of the crop. And then of course they've got the big stars for the big show, for the big Miss Universe. So yeah, it's no joke. I mean, they treat it like a national sport, as in it's like basketball. It's very popular. They want to really do well and compete. So yeah, I mean, so that was I probably should have spoke about the celebrity news, but yeah, so thumbs up to Binibining, and as I said, they're moving now towards getting the final Miss Universe candidates. And it's also practice too. You got to understand they themselves are practicing as candidates, so they might have entered a couple of local beauty pageants, and then a couple of city ones, and then a couple of national ones. It may take a couple of tries. Practice make perfect. So even the candidates to win Miss Philippines or Miss Universe, they themselves have been practicing for years. So good on them. Don't get me wrong, good on them. If they want to take it that seriously and they want to get results, so that's how you do it. I also caught up on the Deadwood movie. So some of you may have seen that. There was a TV series called Deadwood. and they just released the movie on Netflix. So yeah, I saw the Deadwood movie. It was just closure. So if you're a fan of the series like me, it's like a cowboy western series, but it's not shooting and crazy. It's more dialogue. I love the dialogue. And they had to modify it for a modern audience, but the way they talk is so funny. Just using the old language. Yeah, there's a bit of cursing and cussing. It's very gritty. It's not all clean cut. But yeah, look, anyway, I love the Deadwood series, and now 10 years later, 12 years later, they finally made the Deadwood movie just to finish it. It was actually just for closure, just to finish everything up. But I wish they brought the series back. It was a great series, and it was very popular on HBO, I believe. Also, on another note, I've discovered it's actually a thing, and some of you may already know about it. When you turn on the microwave, the microwave oven to microwave food, that can disrupt Wi-Fi signal, especially 2.4 gigahertz signal, which is the very common one. So 5 gigahertz is less disrupted by it, but just by running the microwave, it can stuff up your internet connection. So just a little interesting tidbit there. I was dealing with that. I was like, why the hell am I having all these issues? It's because when the microwave is going, it was disrupting it. So by going to a 5 gigahertz signal, they can rectify it. And that's where the whole 5G internet thing is coming into play. By the way, my computer can run 5 gigahertz, and my Wi-Fi can broadcast at 5 gigahertz. So that's why it's like, okay, I've got to work that out. So I got that set up, but because I'm using a hybrid, like a dual signal, meaning if one is not strong enough, it goes to the other one. It's still disruptive. So I might just go straight dedicated 5 gigahertz. We'll see. We'll see if that's even possible. So it doesn't mean I have 5 gigahertz internet speed. It just means that the signal type, the broadcasting signal type, just to connect all these wireless devices, the Internet of Things. And what else we got? Yeah, I just spent all weekend editing, man. I've just been doing so much video editing. Seriously, like it's just me. I was just catching up on a bit of video editing, so you'll see some new content coming out. Some new vlogs. But yeah, so just that's also why I've been looking at new computer, new cameras. I've just been looking at all this tech just because I'm interested in upgrading. I'm just looking for the value equation. One, when it's good value for money, and two, is it what I actually want? Like, will it actually get the job done and so forth? So that's why I'm getting into all the tech specs. Learning. That's the whole point. Learn about it, and then you can make a better decision. And I enjoy it, as you can tell. I enjoy technology. So, Brian Jackson, if you and people watching, you want to see a fantastic look at the Philippines. Okay, Brian, you don't want to shout out for someone else. Okay. Hey, well, anyway, look, thanks for joining us, Brian. Mike Lee says, have you seen Westworld show on HBO? Yeah, man. I binge watched it too. Yeah. So Mike Lee, yeah. That's very cool. Again, very creative, the whole Westworld thing. And actually, they're just that little very carefully talking about other issues. They're talking about other social issues, about if a robot has a mind and the ability to think, is it still a robot? Or does it have rights? How do we treat robots? Because, technology is advancing. So yeah, it's really cool. And also people's, how can I say it? How people behave. What got me is straight away when I watched that show, it's like how people behave in Philippines. They don't usually behave that way in their normal lives, but they're on vacation, so they start acting crazy and they start getting drunk and they start getting wild. So they do things that they wouldn't normally do in real life, if you know what I mean, or back home. But yeah, and it's fun. Look, Westworld is fun, and it's just a bit of fun. But yeah, no, very cool series. Yeah, thanks for sharing, man. So come on, guys, say hello. Say hello. Tell me where you're from. And, I'll give you a shout out. We got a tip jar too if you want to give me a tip. If you got any questions, that's the whole point. It's a Q&A, live Q&A. And I'm wearing a barong. So getting serious. It gets real when B Adventures puts on the barong. Not really, but anyway. Is James E here? James E brought up a very good question about the M50 Canon camera. Right, it's a Canon camera. It's a mirrorless compact camera with interchangeable lens. And I wasn't razzing on him, so that's why I just remembered him. What I don't like about that camera, it was overhyped by vloggers and reviewers. Like, they got it for free, basically. They got it for free or they got it on loan. Some of them called it out. We're talking about the M50 Canon camera. It's a great camera, don't get me wrong, but some of them call it out inadvertently, like they were vlogging. They were like, "Hey, we're going to this Canon event, and Canon gave this for free, and we're going to do a review on it." Like, so they're just talking about it in their videos, but they call it out, you see. And they're like, "Oh yeah, it was a big media day. All these vloggers were there. We all got the camera for free." So you see what I mean? Pay for play. Secondly, that camera has three features, and forgive me if I don't get all of them. It was meant to have 4K. It was meant to have dual pixel focus, and it was meant to have some type of, I think, electronic stabilization. It does technically have them, just not very well. It does have 4K, but it doesn't shoot it very well. It crops the heck out of it. The image looks terrible. It does have dual point focus, but it's really slow. It loses focus very quickly. And then it does have this stabilization, but it doesn't do it very well. So that was just the whole point. It was a bit of a flop. So if you have that camera, I'm not razzing on you. Learn how to use it. Get good with it. But from all the forums I've seen, people that actually own that camera, they're not happy with it. They're like, we got the camera. It has those features. It doesn't work very well. And they ended up selling it or having to get another camera. So I just wanted to put that out there just because we spoke about it and I didn't quite address it the way I liked in the last live stream. So Mike Lee saying, I noticed a lot of people use the Canon G7X Mark II. Yep, that's an excellent camera. It's an excellent camera. And the reason why is because it's compact. It's compact. It's got a good image sensor. That's also a mirrorless. It's got a few quirks to it. That's why I don't have my own. I've used one. I've used a couple, and I just couldn't get one just yet. I'm waiting for the Mark III. There's been rumors since last year of a Mark III, a new version of that camera, with additional features like 4K, external microphone input, some nicer features. We'll see. It's 1 year later. We still haven't seen this Mark III from Canon. There has been talks of it, like that they have been experimenting with it. They just haven't released it. So yeah, Canon are falling very far behind. But yeah, I was actually going to get one recently. I was really tempted to. I went into the store. I tested it in the store. The guys are really cool at JB Hi-Fi. It's just a retail store here. They gave me a memory card. I put it in. They said, yeah, run around the store. I'm vlogging in the store. I should have got the video just to show you guys. But anyway, they were just really cool letting me test it out. And yeah, I was happy with it. But you got to know how to use it. It's because I've got the G9X, and I even did some test shots with it. But yeah, you got to figure it out. Meaning it's similar to a DSLR. It's not a real one, obviously, but you have to set up your shot. Whether you want it to have certain features or not. But even on auto, just set it to auto and run it. Yeah, but yeah, just like anything, you got to practice with it. But how can I say it? It's a very high quality compact camera. It's awesome, and to this day, I still recommend them. Guys talk about GoPros and phones and all this stuff. Your phone. Look at my phone camera. This is a 20 megapixel camera, but look how small it is. Even a compact camera has a 35 millimeter type lens or 25 millimeter type lens. Bigger lens, bigger image sensor, dedicated. So don't get me wrong; these are awesome. Phone cameras are awesome, but dedicated is still better. But don't get me wrong; these are catching up super fast. Some of these new phones now, whew. And I was going to get the Huawei P30 just because I saw good reviews on the camera, but I held off just because of the whole trade war, Huawei ban thing. So I don't care for it. I don't care for the politics. I'm just saying. So come on, guys, say hello. Say hello. Ask questions. Tell me where you're from. Yeah, tell me where you're from. I can give you a shout out. So where are you from, Mike Lee? All right. Well, if there's much going on, guys, I might call it. Is Corey still in the room? You still around, Corey? Come on, guys. Go ahead and ask a question, or tell me what city you're from, or what country you're from. Okay, guys. Well, if that's it, we might leave it at that then. If no one wants to sit here talking about cameras or chatting away, yeah. Well, that's okay. That's okay. It was just a bit impromptu, and it was a nice little update. Jack Kane, hey Jack, good to hear from you, bro. Good timing. Say hello, guys. Otherwise, I'll finish up. But hey, Jack's cool. He's a very experienced traveler, and he travels the Philippines a lot. Come on, guys. Tell me where you're from. Even your country. Feel free to ask questions, especially questions about countries you're interested in or travel tips and that type of thing. All right. Well, that's it. Unless I'm just looking at my notes, guys, just to see if there was anything else I might want to cover. Yeah, NSA warning, National Security Agency. NSA warning. They have warned. Run your goddamn Windows updates. It's that serious, guys. NSA are getting involved now. All right, NSA are calling it. It's a national security risk. All right, national security. Run your Windows updates. All right, for goodness sake, learn how to do it. This applies to Apple too, by the way. This actually applies to Apple. So at Apple, it's an Apple symbol up in the top left-hand corner of your computer. You'll see an Apple symbol. Click on it. Scroll down to Apple updates. Manually run your Apple updates. And of course, with Windows, down on the bottom left, you click on the Windows symbol. Type in update. It'll find it for you. Find the Windows update option, or you can manually find it. And then manually click run updates. You have to manually click it. Run them, get it over and done with. So, yeah, Jason, it's a bit quiet today. Well, ask questions, brother. Go ahead and ask questions, or, we can talk about anything. But, excuse me. Oh, I'm on live cleaning up. No, but yeah, as I said, it's the Queen's birthday, so happy Queen's birthday. It's a public holiday and long weekend here in Australia. I'm surprised because I thought maybe a few of the Aussie mates might jump on and say hello. But okay, so Mike says Mac Pro for 12,000 lols. Yeah, brother. Yeah, very expensive. Can you imagine in Australia that would be a gazillion dollars, or it'd probably be about 20 grand in Australia. Everything's overpriced and we get it late. So I was looking at that. I was looking at that, guys. I'm not being prejudiced. I was looking at iMacs, the touchscreen desktop computer, the Apple iMac. Man, they're so expensive in Australia, and we don't even get the version you guys get in America. It doesn't have the latest processors. It doesn't have the Core i9. It's like Core i5. Core i5 or Core i7. So it doesn't even have the latest computer chips in it. And they're very expensive. Yeah, like 3-4 grand just for the older ones. So we can't even get access to the new ones sometimes. Yeah. Jason's saying I'll do it after this. Yep. Good on you. Yeah. So it's not just me being OCD. I think it's going to be great because it's going to wipe out. It's going to wipe out all the people that didn't update. It's like, oh, you should run your updates. It's going to wipe them out. Some of these security issues are that big. They actually melt down your computer, or you get hacked. Like everything gets stolen out of your computer. So also zombie load, like it copies what you're doing when you're on the internet. So you might be internet browsing or internet banking, and it's just copying everything. Just copying the heck out of everything. So yeah, it'll be funny. It'll be funny. The people that don't do it, they'll get melted down and they'll get hacked, and yeah, they will join the zombie apocalypse. That's why it's called zombie load. Like zombie apocalypse, zombie. Just a bit of zombie joke. Anyway. But yeah, anyway, let's keep going, guys. Feel free to ask questions. You want to ask questions about cameras or travel or whatever. That's the whole point. But yeah, just to give you a heads up, because it's quiet, so I might finish up if you guys don't keep going. Yeah, I just got some videos about travel bags. So I've got a travel bag video coming up, and also a fashion haul. I know it sounds funny. I'm saying, hey, I'm giving it a try. And usually it's good-looking girls. They're good-looking girls doing fashion hauls, trying on clothing, saying, look at this stuff. But I thought, hey, I want to do that too. So just give it a try. Mike's saying, have you ever used Final Cut Pro X? Final Cut Pro, is that an Apple program? I think I have. Let me just quickly check. I think you're talking about that. I've taken a look at it, but because I don't use Apple. Or Adobe. Sorry, Adobe Premiere Pro. Is that what you mean? Or no? Or Apple. Yep, Apple Final Cut Pro. Yeah, I have. I took a look at it. It's excellent. I was very tempted to go on Apple just for damn Final Cut Pro, but no, I couldn't do it. I'm not going to go on Apple just to use that one program. But it is excellent. Yeah, for what it is. So yeah, friends of mine use it. I know there's plenty of people in the industry, meaning media industry and of course social media, using it. But no, I couldn't justify that. As I said, things are so expensive in Australia to pay so much for an Apple computer just to use that. No. I'm actually looking at DaVinci Resolve. So thank you for reminding me. Actually, I'll better write that down. I'm actually looking at DaVinci Resolve. So yeah, I've heard good things about it, and I've heard of pros using it. So the company is called Blackmagic DaVinci Resolve. Because I was looking at their cameras too, the Blackmagic cameras. They have a whole series of 4K cameras, from compact ones to big, huge professional ones. So yeah, just to put that out there. I'm not. We'll see. I'm still investigating, but yeah. So I was looking at Blackmagic DaVinci Resolve. Mike saying I'm currently using an Acer Chromebook 14 as my main laptop. Hey, they're a good laptop, man. I know the one you're talking about. Acer make good stuff, yeah, or it's decent. It's decent. Some guy's trolling. So okay, I gotta get rid of him. Yeah, some guy was trolling, so I'm just gonna deal with him. So that's my very first timeout, guys. I gave him a timeout. Sorry, troll. If you come on my channel saying and cussing like that, I'm just gonna give you a timeout. Okay, you're not blocked yet. Actually, I might as well block him. He's a troll. Yeah, I'm just gonna. Oh, he's hidden. Okay, so I just hit him. So that's the very first time I've done that, guys. So I'm not so oversensitive. That's the very first time I've hidden someone. So what that means is, yeah, he keeps putting troll comments. So now his comments are hidden. So okay, bye troll. There you go. There you go. First time I used a real timeout. You know, I'm giving people warnings. Hey, calm down, or I'll give you a timeout. That's the first time I actually clicked on it. So yeah, cool. That was fun. Sorry, troll. Crazy. So what do we got? Mike Lee says, I got it for $175 and it's super fast since Chrome OS is so light. Yep. Well, you must be using Chrome Lite. Google Chrome's heavy, brother. Google Chrome uses up a lot of RAM. Like, you need 8 gigs of RAM when you use Google Chrome, but there's different versions, meaning it knows when it doesn't have enough resources and it purposely goes to a lighter version. And you can fine tune it. You can go into your settings and remove remove cookies, remove extensions, and do that just to clean it up a bit. I do that. Otherwise, it gets way too heavy. Because a lot of things happen like background data. So even though you're not doing anything, it's just constantly feeding or giving feedback to all these different things. So yeah, Michael Lee says, yeah, I've heard of this cameras also. Yep. So yeah. Gosh, we got a bit of a quiet one, huh, guys? Well, look, I appreciate you all joining. If no one wants a shout out, or if no one has any other questions, I'm happy to leave it at that. But anyway, yeah, and just just going through the motions, guys. Just taking care of business and whatever. But yeah, I'm keen to do another trip and another travel series. But I'm looking at new locations too. I don't want to keep going back to the same old locations. That's the whole point. I want to explore new places, and also hopefully maybe find a place that I might like to stay longer, or even move there one day. So that's the whole quest. That's why I keep exploring. But gosh, quite one, guys. This is interesting. Usually there's talkative people asking all sorts of things, and that's okay. All right. Well, if you guys are happy to have a quiet one, then we might call it quits. Come on, last call for drinks. Last call for drinks. Bar is closing. I'm just scrolling through the comments again, guys, just to see if there's any questions I missed. All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining. As usual, yeah, don't forget to subscribe, and you've got to hit the notification bell. There's a bell icon. If you don't hit that, YouTube doesn't give you the notifications. So that's actually a thing. Like, people have been long-time subscribers. They don't even know, like, when a live stream's on or when I post a new video. They're like 6 months or 1 year behind. They didn't know there was all these videos being posted. yeah, go ahead and check out the Facebook page. And as usual, thanks for watching.